Jumbo greetings. My name is Ken Juma, the founder and CEO of House of Maji, where we help businesses, schools, hospitals, real estate developers, and homeowners access clean and safe drinking water. Of importance for this class is we also help entrepreneurs start and run successful water refill shops. So over the years, people have been asking us to, explain to them what does it take to run a successful water business, what should I do. So for that purpose, we have decided to create a masterclass and try to put in everything that we've learned throughout all those years and condense them in this masterclass. Ndio sasa kama unafikiria kuanza na kurun biashara vizuri, it will give you everything in one spot. So previously we have discussed how to choose the right location. We have discussed how to, assess your profitability, how to select the right equipment. So this is the fourth class. In the fourth class, one of the most important elements is the marketing of your business. How do you market the refill shop? Umeshapiga research yako, ushaona hii kitu itaweza, ukapata location fiti. Now you need the people to know. How do you tell the people that this is the best place for them to access clean water for them and their family? That is our lesson today. So, if you remember, when we were talking about choosing a location, we had discussed that the location should be influenced by a population. Unafaa unaangalia who lives there and who is my target market. So, the marketing criteria, the marketing strategy you're going to employ is going to be dependent, yani inategemea na ile segment ambao you are targeting. The segment targeting could be, for example, restaurants. If you want to sell to restaurants, you will use a different approach. Kama unataka kuuzia students, you will use a different approach. Hapa tulisema ni kama pia clubs. So if your approach is for malls, if you're targeting residential areas, so this is like gated communities and stuff. So we have residentials. Yeah. What else am I be forgetting? Offices. Good. My student is not sleeping in class. Offices. So this is the roughly the segments that we have. Tulisema vizuri sana, you may not be able to target all of them. The smart business owner tries to see how can I target as many of this as possible. But in some cases, it may not be able to work or target everyone. So for clubs, let's begin with clubs. For clubs, you need to have a dedicated salesperson. This is somebody that will be going to these restaurants, these clubs, and tries to talk to the procurement or the manager of the club in order to give you the contract of supplying them with your water services. So it is important to have a dedicated individual. Mtu mwenye anaweza kunja shati, mtu msafi, ndio asiende pale akwe judged. So employ someone to go and talk on your behalf, ama yourself. If you're beginning, by the way, do this on your own. Know the market. Make a relationship. Try to find and create a relationship with these restaurants and clubs. Okay? Now, one thing I have to caution you about restaurants and clubs. Hapo tutaka pia hoteli. These big hotels zenye unasikia. Hoteli kuna jina kubwa. One thing I have to caution you is the credit period. When you're going to negotiate na hizi ma clubs na hoteli, right? Ask be very keen on this credit period. Hii itakutoa kwa biashara. Okay? Some very good, I normally advise to end in a 30-day credit period, max. Anything beyond 30 days will be a very big drain on your cash flow. Remember, in any business that you're running, cash flow is king. You want to create 30 days so that the cash flow, you still have cash flow to keep running, right? Utaona maclub zingine zitakwambia wanataka kupatia 90 days. That means unapigia supply leo, alafu inachukua 90 days ndio ulipo ile supply ya kwanza. So if you're beginning to supply, kama ile the first time, utasupply miezi 3. Hiyo ni kama ni 90 day credit period. Utasupply miezi 3 ndio uanze kulipwa. Okay? So in that case, if you don't have enough cash, hapo utaumia na usikubali. Try to insist on a maximum of 30 day credit period. Inamaanisha nikisupply leo 1st August, mwisho wa mwezi ya hiyo August nalipwa. Kama ni 1st July, mwisho wa mwezi wa hiyo July nalipwa. So 30 day credit period. Please insist on as low as possible. Kama unaweza fanya hata 14 days, the better for you. Remember, this is a cash rich business. And if you play around with the cash, you'll have a problem. So always make sure that you want your credit period to be as low as possible. Okay? Now, at this stage, you need to also make sure you have a van. Ndio itafanya delivery. At this stage, you need to be operating using a van. This van can carry the bottles for you. At this stage, you need to have delivery. Delivery note. Wajanja wanaitanga D note. D note ni ile ukideliver maji, umedeliver kitu, unaenda nayo delivery. Hiyo delivery inasema ni siku ya leo, which is on the 6th of August, ni deliver chupa kama 4 ama 10 ama 30. Bei yao ni hivi, mwenye alireceive kitu ni hii. It will be very important for you kama kuna any dispute at the end of the month. At the end of the credit period, utapata wase kuna wajanja in Nairobi watakwambia huku deliver. So kenye itakusaidia ni hiyo delivery note. Okay? And then hapa pia utakuwa na invoice. So at the end of the 30-day period, at the end of this credit period, utachukua zile madi notes zako, utazipigisha hesabu, and then together they'll form the invoice. So this is what utakuwa unadai that particular restaurant, club or hotel. Remember, I am trying to tell you how to market it, but because we are also making sure marketing lazima irudishe kitu, that is why I'm taking you through all this. Ensure you have as low as possible and a very good salesperson. This one is going to be the make it or break it if you're targeting this particular segment or client vertical. Our second segment, I hope umeona hizo. Mtu apige picha, umeona hizo. So the second one is students. So let's say you've set up in a place near a university or a college. Students in Raisi, students you just use flyers. Of course, the social media. For students, you're going to use flyers and social media. This is basic. Na hapa delivery itakuwa very simple. Unatumia baiskeli, bicycle. Bicycle inaandika ngaje? Bicycle. So this is going to be easy. Na hapa pia of course huwezi lipisha watu wa shule pesa mingi. Na pia lazima ujue ni shule gani una target. Sawa? That is for those going for students. Flyers, social media. Now, so far we've discussed 3 ways of marketing. We've talked about salesperson, talked about flyers, talked about social media. We are going to be mixing them depending on the people we are targeting. Okay? So for students, tumesema ni flyers, social media, utakuwa unatumia bike kupiga delivery. For students, it's actually very simple. And that is going to be more or less the same with the residential na malls. So hapa pia utakuwa unatumia flyers, social media. Let me just list all of this. So then now, salesperson, dedicated salesperson. Yeah, sometimes you can also use canvases. This is when this is billboards ndogo ndogo karibu na barabara. Especially if you're targeting like residentials, a canvas can be very important. You are targeting a gated community. Putting a canvas in front of that gated community is going to be very key if you're targeting residential. Putting a canvas in front of a mall, if in case you are setting up your refill shop in a mall, is going to be critical. So this is our new marketing method, using canvases. And canvases needs to be strategically placed. Canvas, because marketing is a very expensive exercise. If you don't do it well, you will not have a return on investment. Every biashara, kila biashara must have a return on investment. You must be able to calculate. Bila hii canvas, I was selling 10,000 shillings per day. 3 weeks after putting this canvas, now I am selling 12,000 per day. Okay, so the improvement here is 2,000 shillings. You look at from this 2,000 shillings, what is the profit? So let's say profit hapa ni 500. So I'm getting an extra 500 shillings profit because of the canvas I had erected. So kama canvas will cost, let's say around 20,000. Normally they cost lower, way lower, about 10,000 actually. So let's say it costs around 10,000. If you divide by 500, you need 20. Yeah, so within 20 days, utakumpata pesa ile yenye uli invest kwa canvas. That will be how many days you need to return your investment. So every marketing approach should be able to increase your sales, and because it is increasing your sales, you should be able to return the money that you had invested. Remember, the marketing is an investment. Marketing is not an expense. This should be an investment. Marketing is an investment. Kama una market, ensure umepiga hesabu how much it has costed you and how you're going to return the money, how you're going to get back pesa zako. For malls, again, you also need flyers. Residential flyers. Flyers are simply the small distributable pieces of paper zenye umedesign, umeweka pale bei yako, how much you're selling, umeweka number, people can call you on, umeweka your location so that anybody who wants to come and see can come and see. So basically, flyers ni critical sana if you're targeting residential, if you're targeting malls, and students, can say. Utakuwa unapiga mostly ni flyers. Social media naye ni overall. Social media naye unahitaji, especially kama unajua ku target your area yenye ume set up. Social media will be very key in targeting the very area that you are trying to get the sales from. So this should be applying to all. In apply to all. Apply to all. Apply that unto all. Salesperson, offices, offices and restaurants, they are what we call B2B. They are businesses. B2B. So your business in a supply another business. So the club itself is a business. The office is a business. So when you're doing the offices, it's about the more or less the same thing but we were discussed before. Mostly it involves kukuwa na as dedicated salesperson mwenye anaweza kunja shati ndani ya longi kama yangu hivi na aende akatie the owner, the manager ama mtu wa procurement. Offices and restaurants require more or less the same approach. And you also need a van or a bike as well because they are normally very demanding. Wakitaka maji, wanataka saa hiyo. So, and they normally require many pieces at once. They require 5, 10, 20, sometimes even 40. Kuna wenye tumesupply hata 300 bottles. So that requires a lot of manpower. It requires you to have a lot of bottles to exchange. Most importantly, some of these offices will request for a dispenser. Here, what the officers are looking for, they're not looking at you as a water supplier, ile ya kawaida. You are a service provider. And the service you're providing is clean water. Let me delete this so that I make a point here. You are supplying them, you are a clean water supplier. Inamaanisha hawataki kujua venye utaleta hiyo maji penye unaipitisha au wanapata maji safi. Wewe utapiga delivery notes zako na invoices zako utawapigisha hesabu. But for them, they just want to see they always have clean water. Every single day, they can access it. So these dispensers remain the property of your business. You are supposed to be maintaining them. You're supposed to be servicing them. And when they are damaged, depending on how you've done your contract, another very important piece, how you've done your contract. When you're dealing with a B2B, contract is a must. Because you go today into a procurement, wenye mko mmeelewana naye hayuko. So what do you do? So if you don't have a contract to guide the relationship between you and that business, then you will be left with I said, she said. So lazima uwe na contract kama unafanya B2B. Na hii contract itakuwa very clear ni nini nakuprovidea. Na ukidamage chupa yangu ni how much unanilipa. Ukidamage dispenser, how much are you going to be compensating me? Because remember, the bottle and the dispenser remain a property of your business. And if they are damaged, that is a loss on you. So it is you to make sure that you recover any losses that happen during the service delivery. Hata wanasumbua na dosa zingine. So make sure usicheke na msee, hii ni Nairobi mkuja kutafuta pesa. Make sure contract iko very clear. Na 30 days iko kwa hiyo contract. Okay? Yeah, so that's basically the marketing for a water refill shop. I'm going to go through the summary of what we've discussed. And in case you have any questions, put them in the comment section or my inbox, and I'll be happy to clarify. So we have discussed several marketing methods when you're doing marketing for your refill shop. Tumesema kuna flyers, kuna social media, kuna a dedicated salesperson, na kuna using of canvases. The mix that you will employ will depend on the customer segments that you're targeting. Restaurants and offices are businesses. They are what we call B2B. For the B2B, tumesema important ni salesperson. Mwenye atakaa pale chini, nafanya negotiations, achore contract na msign. It should be you in the beginning. Unless you have expanded, this should be done by yourself. Know very well what is in your contract. Go through every single line, because I promise you it will come to haunt you if you don't do it. Make sure you go through the contract line by line. Everything that is there because you want it to be there. And that contract should be favoring you, kabisa. Canvases, you can also operate with, but not for B2B. B2B mostly utachukua flyers na salesperson. Flyer ni ile umeshapiga raundi zako, you've talked to that owner, manager, and then you give them the flyer so that when they are ready, they can call you, or a business card, they can call you. We've discussed social media. Tumesema social media ni ya kila mtu. Mimi mwenyewe niko hapa napiga social media. Sawa? So usijifanye tu ni mjanja. Piga social media. Hiyo ni lazima. Then finally Canvas. So Canvas is mostly kama unataka get students, kama unataka get residentials, na kama unataka get malls. Lazima ukuwe na canvases. Na tumesema canvases must be strategically placed. Okay? Salesperson, canvas, social media, flyers, segments. That's it. So, if you have any questions, if you need any clarification, if something I've forgotten in this class, please have a comment, inbox, swali. I'll be happy to help you through. So if you're going to be targeting drinking populations, if you're going to be setting up your water refill shop, this is a business that is never going to run out of a market. Remember, the marketing needs to be a continuous. Ni kitu ya kila siku. Unifanya leo, unifanya kesho. So you need to have a running budget to ensure that you keep up with the marketing. Remember, this is supposed to be a continuous process ya kila siku. Sawa sawa. So that has been that for me today. See you in the next class. Remember, the masterclass contains everything you need to start and run a successful business. If you need any guidance, tuko hapa, House of Maji. Number is 0112 363 100. If you need any guidance, if you need any instant questions, WhatsApp us, call us 0112 363 100. Karibuni House of Maji, nyumba bila. Thank you.
House of Maji, nyumba bila queue.